in your head was spinning. What do you think of the way the Rams are handling Goff? The first overall, not even dressed for the first game. What do you think?
I'm sure he's frustrated, and I did have a small playbook coming out of college, and actually, it's funny. Sonny Dykes was Golf's head coach out at Cal. He was with me at Kentucky, so it was the exact same system
Wow,
that we both played in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so it is a transition coming from that system, trying to learn an NFL system, and the plan for me was to sit behind Ty Detmer my rookie season. We were an expansion team. The last thing they wanted to do was throw a young quarterback who I came out of college a year early too, right to the wolves on an expansion team, just throw me out there. But that was a plan to sit behind Ty. And then after the first week, we got blown out by Pittsburgh, and then I started on the road at Tennessee in week 2. And so it was a tough situation. I got beat up a lot. It's a tough thing to do to a young quarterback to kind of throw him out there when you don't have the supporting cast in place where he can go out and be successful. And I think that's maybe what they're doing with Jared Goff a little bit. I'm sure some of it has to do with his development, but I think some of it has to do with, they realize they're not very good offensively right now. They haven't scored a touchdown, I don't think, in the first 2 weeks of the season. So I think they're trying to bring him along slowly and not put him in there where he gets beat up and gets sacked a lot, and try to put him in a situation where he can come out and have a little bit of success, and they don't break his confidence too early.
Yeah, Tim, how important is it, the support system around? And I mean that with the coaching staff, because if you look at Carson Wentz, and you heard this last week, because of Doug Peterson being the head coach and Frank Wright being the offensive coordinator, it lends itself to him being able to learn and teach on the go, whereas that's not the case out in Los Angeles, where they're more defensive-minded and inexperienced as it pertains to the head coach and to the coordinator.
Absolutely. It's a huge difference. I think, Doug Peterson was a teammate of mine in Cleveland and Green Bay as well. And then obviously Frank Reich is the offensive coordinator. You got two quarterbacks right there that have been in the live action in the NFL, and they can teach this young quarterback what it's all about and what he needs to know. And they can also put him in situations where he can go out and be successful. And obviously the kid's really talented. He's picking up the system really quickly. He's got a big arm. He's very calm and poised for a young player. And I think a lot of it has to do with his head coach and his offensive coordinator being former NFL quarterback. So that's a great situation for him. And then it is all about supporting cast. I think you can ask any quarterback who's ever played in the league, what's the biggest things that you need in place to have success at that level, and they'll say supporting cast. It's about offensive line. It's having a good running back is huge, as Tiki knows. That you got to have that running back who can take the pressure off of a young player, keep him in manageable situations, get positive yardage on first and second down. Then obviously you got to have someone in the backfield where you can trust on third down to pick up blitzes, and you can dump it off to him on check downs and those kind of things. So supporting cast for a young player or any quarterback, in my opinion, is critical if you want to have long-term success at that level.
We're talking to Tim Couch, former first overall pick back in '99 out of Kentucky by the Browns. Tiki was playing, so I know he doesn't know this stat, but Tiki, this poor guy that we're talking to right now, was sacked 56 times as a rookie.
That's the supporting cast that he was just talking about?
Yeah, it's a nice way of saying he didn't have one.
You didn't have Tim.
But, Tim, I wanted to ask you that. Specific to the notion of protecting young quarterbacks and insulating them. Listen, I didn't play, certainly at that level. I didn't even play in college in the NFL football. But I've always said that, and I believe that this applies to Ryan Tannehill. I want to get your thoughts on this. When you get hit so early in your career, David Carr as well with the Texans, you begin to flinch, you begin to hurry, you begin to see things that aren't there. And in my opinion, even though I didn't play, I think that sometimes it's irreversible. Did that happen to you, and do you think that that's happening to Ryan Tannehill in Miami?
Well, Brandon, I think you're exactly right. It does change you as a player, and especially as a rookie quarterback, when you're used to when you come into the league, such a high-profile player coming out of college, a high draft pick, and so many expectations placed upon you, and the expectations that you have for yourself because you're used to playing at such a high level that you expect to just come right into the league and come out and throw touchdowns and win games just like you did in college. And then all of a sudden you're getting beat up and, you're getting sacked almost every play. It takes a toll on you. And, it makes you see things that aren't there, just like you said. And even when you drop back in times where you do have protection, in your mind, the clock in your mind it's going so fast because you're not used to having that protection. You rush through things. You come off receivers too early that end up breaking open and you didn't stay on it long enough. So you miss some plays down the field. that way. And then obviously you get some happy feet in the pocket. You kind of, you don't trust it to step up in there, and you feel like you really can't get off that first, second read. You can't get to the third and fourth guy, because you don't feel like you're going to have time to come down to that. So it does change you as a player. It's very difficult to get out of that mindset, and it probably took me, probably into my third year before I started feeling comfortable, not only, with my offensive line and those kind of things, but also how to protect myself. And I think that's such a huge thing for a young quarterback is coming out of college is that how do I get myself blocked up? How do I, change the mic, slide the offensive line, make sure my back knows who he's picking up in the blitz protections and where my hots and side adjustments are. All those kind of things are so critical for a young quarterback's success.
Yeah, I think we're all surprised about Carson Wentz's development, or at least the ease at which it seems like he's approached his first couple of games. Did the Cleveland Browns miss on not drafting him?
I think right now you could say you would say yes, just the way he's played. I think he's a guy that coming out of the school that he came out of, a smaller school.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people doubted that he would be able to make the adjustment this quickly. But obviously he's proven everyone wrong. I think the amount of success he had in college, playing at a winning program, winning championships, I think is carried over to the NFL for him. And I think, he has so much poise and confidence as a young player. And, a lot of that has to do with what we talked about earlier with his coaching staff, with Doug being there and Frank and those guys. He has a support system for a young player. And, they know what it's like to be a rookie in this league and how difficult it is at that position. So they're putting him in good situations. They're putting him in situations where he feels comfortable. I see them running stuff that he was running in college, a lot of the, spread the field, going 5 wides, those kind of things, and stuff that he feels comfortable with. And I think that's kind of what you have to do with these young players is, don't really say this is what we do and you're going to adjust to it. You have to adjust to that quarterback and what he does best, to give them the opportunity to go out and do what they're capable of doing.
Yeah. Hey, Tim, I was playing, this was the Friday before opening day, so that would have been September 9th, and I was teeing up with my buddy, and we went, a couple of beers when we played, nothing nutty, but I go into the bar, and I see a big Jets fan. We're in New Jersey, and he is as well, and we always have our pre-week one tee-off tradition. And I see these Bud Light cans with Jet logos. And I saw the giant ones, too, but I looked right past those. And I got to get a couple of these. I got a 6-pack, threw it on ice, played some golf, and I got to tell you, I like the thing you're doing with Bud Light. These cans are pretty sweet. Tell us about it.
They're awesome, aren't they? Yeah. They're really cool. It was a great opportunity to be teamed up with Bud Light, and Bud Light's the beer, the fan of the fans, and their new promotion with the NFL is "This is your cans year," and they teamed up with 28 of the teams across the league, and to have the jersey color and the logo of the teams on the can, as well as the new Bud Light logo on the can as well. So. Just a great experience. Had an opportunity to work alongside a couple other former NFL players, and Justin Tuck and Bo Jackson as well. And Bo was, doing his Tecmo Bowl thing in the commercial. So it's a really cool spot. It's lighthearted. It's funny. You can see it on YouTube right now, and it'll also air during the fall, during football season, during the games and stuff. So you can see it there too. But it's the cans turned out really cool. I think the fans are really going to be excited about it, and it makes it kind of special. You're out in the parking lot drinking, your team can. Before you go into the stadium, and it turned out pretty cool.
Here's the question, though, Tim. What if you were caught in a pinch, and you're at a tailgate, and
I know where you're going. Go ahead. I know where you're going.
Giants fan, and someone breaks out.
Cooler's empty.
And someone breaks out the Eagles.
Oh,
what do?
You throw it on the floor. You can't drink it, man.
You can't, right? You can't.
Hopefully, I'm not in that situation.